Welcome back. Greetings from. It's a movement that's bridging continents, cultures, and communities through the power of art and music. It's created by brothers Damon Turner and DT. The project has established a living space in Johannesburg where artists from all across Africa, the diaspora, they come together to collaborate, create, and share their stories. And so the hub is a melting pot of creativity, music, visual art, and cultural storytelling, flowing together in a beautiful symphony of expression. You can just see some of the examples on your screens there. So for more, we're actually going to be joined by headliner Damon Turner and artistic director Napo Masheane. Good morning to the both of you. Thank you.
Oh,
it's nice to see you back again. Damon, you're the guest because I've seen Napo a few times now. Welcome and thank you so much for this. I mean, we were just chatting offline about what's been missing in this global conversation. And I wonder if you can weigh in why it was so important for this bridge and merge to happen.
I think folks are just tired of, big businesses managing, owning culture, right? And so everybody goes to festivals and goes to these really large spaces. But I think the world is really yearning for connection in a way that, hasn't been happening in the last 10, 20 years, right?
Yes.
And so, the algorithm has really taken us away from each other. And so this was an opportunity to really reground and root ourselves back into community dialogues and sharing our experiences. Because like you were asking offline, what's the difference between LA and Joe's? I was like, not a lot. We're all very similar and we're having the same conversations. So we wanted to highlight that for sure.
Yeah, greetings from the title itself. It's got a nostalgic feel, but it's forward facing because literally we're in a global world. So you can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Tell us about the name and what do you aim to encompass through that?
For sure. I mean, it was a prayer that me and my brother came up with as a way to sort of give back a love letter to the communities that we've done cultural work in. And so we just sort of evolved it into this global conversation to really build these really beautiful micro hubs all over the world and then build the infrastructure so we are all communicating together. So we were able to say, Sabona, greetings from where you are and greetings from wherever anyone else is. And we want to use, yes, we'll use digital technology, whatever, to communicate, but really being on the ground is where the magic happens.
Absolutely. Napo, I mean, you obviously you represent artistic director, your vision, you unite, you also showcase the different mediums, the different artists, particularly those who are undiscovered. Tell us about your vision in this whole project.
Well, I think firstly, because when Damon reached out to me, it was a collective of two different kind of artists, both from the US and from South Africa, but also doing a tight match to see what resonates, but also thinking out of the box. The visuals that everybody's seeing now, it's like a visual artist, Monox, with one of Damon's good friend, Trey, who is a naturalist, but also making sure that nature and art speaks together. But also you have American, MC with the South African spoken word. You've got dancers, you've got musicians, you've got producers, you've got fashion designers, all in the same hub. And just that availability and that opportunity of creatives from different perspectives, but with the same kind of values and cultural, prospects. It's quite mind-blowing.
Because this is obviously a bridging moment, right?
Yes,
and it also creates empathy, which to your point, this is what has been lacking through the lack of connection as well. But Napo, how do we ensure that there's equity in the exchange, especially when it's with a community or a culture that has more resources?
Oh, no, definitely. I think one of the things that we agreed and why I work with Damon is because it's not about coming to take, coming to impose, coming to tell. It's about I bring this to the table, you bring this to the table. And I think that's one of the most important things as part of artistic exchanges that are collectively forming and recreating together works that are sustainable, that are impactful, that are intentional. So for me, I don't think any of our creatives ever felt like, we are being bombarded, we are being dictated upon. It was a creation. I think that's what also makes Greetings From different. It's a hub. One room, like I said, you've got people writing, people talking about business, how we sustain ourselves. We're talking about longevity. We're talking about what is next, but also relationships that are being created.
Yeah.
The space was also open for any other thespians and well-celebrated creatives from all over Johannesburg to come through, have profound conversations. So that seed that Damon and DT planted became even more than beyond what we really expected. Beyond the performance, there are relationships that are lifetime, that are part of the bank of artists across these parts of the world.
So how has it been received? And what's the source? What's the source that we have? I know that's a term.
I mean, you know, you tell me. How's it received? Do y'all like it? No, I'm just like, honestly, I think people feel seen. People feel seen, right? And I think it's beyond just the creative economy. People in every other sector that's been able to interface and intersect with what we're doing is also like, oh, I think I feel seen in this space. Like an architect came into the show and heard me talking about environmentally sustainable design and urban planning. And he was like, oh, wow. Yes, I do social media for Untitled Basement, but like, I'm also an architect, and I love that you brought that into your space. I'm like, yeah, because we have to think about ourselves as 360-degree humans, not as like these monolithic, you know, sort of like worker bees. And so if we're able to, yes, use art to impact the creative space, but also thinking about how it's going to impact everybody else in the world, then I think we're doing something right.
Napo, it's also about adding agency to Damon's point, right?
Definitely.
And the story of the world becomes complete when we assert ourselves as well, because that's the perspective that hasn't been told properly. Tell us a little bit more about that endeavor and how it's also been received.
I think for me, the most profound thing is to see cross pollution of audiences. These are audiences that are not necessarily theater goers, but you had within the midst people who love visual arts being experiencing dance, people who love a particular genre of music being enticed by Damon's music, people who had never been to poetry and spoken word show being in a space. So between two events that we had, it's faces I've never seen, but also giving alternative space that theater or live performance is not just at the concert out there. It's not within the black box. It can happen anytime, anywhere. The circle of African theater, you know, basics of rituals and just expression, anywhere where there's a community, where there's a spectator, storytellers, and a story to tell. I think that for me, it's something that is really shifted my perception. I've always known, but I think Greetings From just affirmed it, that it's okay and we can perform anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. It's a universal language that the heart understands. I need to wrap up, but just very quickly, I mean, you're in many cities, so tell us what the future looks like for 2026 and beyond. What's on the calendar, guys?
I know, right? So DT is doing a collaboration.
Okay.
Trap Hills is doing a collaboration with Urban Zulu, and we'll be premiering at New York Fashion Week in a few weeks. Coming back, doing really awesome programs. Just building.
Okay, we'll put it on the
Just
socials.
building.
All right. Well, that foundation sounds solid. Thank you for including everyone. Damon Turner, Napo Masheane this morning chatting about Greetings From. We'll see where they come to us next. All right, so we'll leave that conversation there.